Hello once again, gamers. Welcome to Cruisnick's Purgatory. I'm your host, Cruisnick X. Alongside me, Arya Stormborn.
Heyo.
We are well into working on the Orbone Monastery footage. And when we last left off, Alma was feeling a little bit under the weather. Mikoto believes it might be an effect of the Auracite. Oh, and Bwagi's here, and he has someone he wants us to meet. So let's talk to Bwagi.
Let me know when you are ready to depart for Rabanasta. We will travel in our airship. The Prima Vista would draw too much unwanted attention.
That's bored. Back to a life of brigandry in the clouds, are we?
Of course not. Not that it didn't cross our minds. But when faced with the decision of what to do next, we needed simply to remember the dying words of our leader. Gijuk Rinok and I decided to re-enlist as Damascan Fusiliers.
And the occupying Gallians actually said yes, Kubo?
Not exactly. We are now with the Resistance. You no doubt heard the uprising in Dalmasca that followed the Doman liberation, and how it was crushed under the iron heel of the 4th Legion. The Resistance leaders were captured, tortured, and publicly executed. Yet, much to the Empire's chagrin, the gruesome display only served to further rally the survivors. Remove one head and 2 grow back in its place. Remove 2 and then there are 4. A person can die, but an ideal will live on. Now there exist several factions throughout Dalmasca. We belong to one known as Lente's Tears. And when we told our commanding officer of our recent crossing with you, and yours, she simply insisted that we introduce you.
Me? But I wasn't even supposed to be here, Kupo!
Not you, Hairball! Him! Meet with the general and hear our proposal, Tarl. If you are not interested, we shall return you to Kugane unharmed. You have our...
Carl got your tongue?
Rabanasta dead ahead, lads.
And we're back in Rabanastre. At least I don't need to deal with any red chocobos. No. Fuck that. Fuck that shit. Seriously. If I had to deal with red chocobos again, it was going... someone was getting shot. Not kidding about that. Anyway.
This way. We've many moms to cover before nightfall.
Phew. And we're in the Clockwork City again. Or, well, we're in the city of Lysalia.
I've done as I asked. I bring you the Liberator.
And here I thought he'd be taller. Seriously, what is it with height? What is wrong with my height? I knew it! A Viera! I am Fran, proud daughter of Dalmasca and general of Lentes Tears. And yes, Moogle, I am a Viera. Are you surprised? Why, yes, in fact I am. Her kind are all supposed to be living amongst the trees, having shunned contact with the outer world, Kupo. There are supposedly a few who have left their homes, but I most certainly did not expect to see one here in this sewer. Indeed. This Banga claims you seek Orbone. Does he speak true? Those ruins lie deep within the Golmore jungle, a place most sacred to my sisters. They would take great offense were you to defile it with your presence. What is more, Bwagi tells me you travel with Garleans, openly aiding those who would see our nation burn. How can we place our trust in one who would do such? Genomus and his family defected long ago. They are not your enemy. A Garlean is a Garlean. Their pathetic attempt at absolution only proves their past guilt. You misunderstand. Kind Genomus does not approve of the Emperor's warmongering. He wants to help Dalmasca and its impoverished masses, Kupo. And what will a Moogle know about my people? Does your blood run Dalmascan red? We would cut you open and find out.
General, there is no need for threats.
You are right, Bwagi. Then let us then parley. Partly? Parley. First, the resistance requires men. Men and women from Doma and the Eorzean Alliance to join us in ridding Dalmasca of its imperial invaders. Your past deeds have made you well known to the leaders of both. They will listen to you. Or if not, they will listen to these scions to which you claim allegiance. Second, the resistance requires gold. Gold to strengthen our forces from within. Your allies are in bed with the East Aldenard Trading Company, which continues its dealings with Garlemald even as you raise your sword against them, profiting from the Empire's rampant aggression. As targets of that aggression, I believe my people are entitled to a portion of those profits. Grant me these simple things, and I shall personally guide you safely to the ruins of Orbone. And what of the Lexan tales? See me to victory, and I'll take the Emperor himself. Those are my conditions. What say you? I will deliver your request to the Scions, but can promise no more. Tell them my demands, but know the fate of your expedition hangs on how well you do so. I'd say we have our work cut out for us, Kupo. Bwagi, you and the Fusiliers are to accompany the Liberator. I expect a detailed report on how my demands are received.
Yes, General.
Not that I expect them to be taken seriously. You are a fool to trust them, Princess. Jesus, so many cutscenes. What an adventure, Kupo! Just think! By tomorrow, we could all be newest members of the Damascan Resistance! Not that I'm ready to give up my place on the Prima Vista just yet. Alright, let's, move to, Hurry! Hurry! If I don't tell someone about our adventure quick, I'll positively burst, Kupo! Let's just get on the Prima Vista. This woman asks much of us.
The Viera have ever been wary of outsiders. For centuries, their many tribes have remained hidden in the jungles, content with their self-imposed solitude. Each tribe has its own strict code and will meet swift punishment to any who would defy those laws. As such, many a Viera will spend her entire life bound to the territory of her ancestors, both unwilling and unable to venture beyond its borders. And while the tribes are wholly independent, they have agreed to uphold a single standard: shun all contact with the outside world unless it is to protect the jungle. That said, with every generation there are those Viera who long for a life beyond the verdant sea of trees, and abandon their tribes to start a new life in the kingdom's cities. My guess is that this Fran is one such individual.
Who also happens to be the only individual who we know who can guide us to the monastery, Kupo. It seems Tarl's sword arm won't be enough to see us through this predicament. He'll need to don the right mantle of a diplomat if we're to convince the alliances and the East Aldenar Trading Company to grant us aid. What could go wrong?
Everything. Everything could go wrong.
And calls back.
Yes, I know you said not to call unless it was urgent, but this is urgent. Alright, not exactly. But my superiors have come to a decision on your request, and I thought you might want to hear what they had to say. Oh, and let me preempt any request for immediate disclosure with a reminder that the information is much too sensitive to discuss over Link Pearl. Meet me at the Ruby Bazaar post-haste, and I shall duly apprise you of their judgment.
Well then, Tarl, what are we waiting for? Alright, while we're traveling to the Ruby Bazaar, I do want to make one setup change.
I've read about how you united the whole of Eorzea under a single standard and convinced the Holy See to end a 1,000-year conflict. Compared to that, asking a few soldiers and a coffer or three of gil should be a piece of Rolandberry cake. I suppose we should inform Bwagi down at Kugane Landing of our progress. You mentioned he was to keep an eye on us.
Alright.
So, you have an answer from East Aldenot. Whoops, what the frick? So you have an answer from East Aldenot already. Impressive. It would seem the Lady Fran has underestimated your influence amongst the realm's players. I assume you have no objections to me joining you then.
Alright, let's head to the Ruby Bazaar. I'm moving my keyboard away because if I hit a key again, it's going to be... Where is the goddamn ether right now? Kugane Etherite Plaza. No. Ruby Bazaar. All right. Wait a minute. Why do I have to be near the Ruby Bazaar for this? I don't know why I'm getting so frustrated. It's probably because I'm getting tired. There they are.
Hancock awaits us in the bazaar. Shall we, Tarl?
A lovely lady and a banga? And here I was expecting you would be alone, Tarl. But excuse my manners. I am Hancock, representative of the East Aldenod Trading Company, assigned to oversee her assets here in Kugane. It is a pleasure to meet you.
And I am Yugiri. We apologize for making you come all this way. Not that it is far from the landing to... Bwagi, was it? I serve Lord Hien. rightful ruler of Doma. I have come bearing my lord's reply to your entreaty. And I am Tataru Taru of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I am only here seeing as no one else could be bothered. Well, that, and to bear a message from the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance.
Thank you both for coming. I am Bwagi, formerly of the Damascan Royal Fusiliers. I now claim allegiance to Lente's Tears, a resistance group seeking to accomplish what you have in Doma and Alamigo. What tidings have you brought us?
Allow me to begin then. While the East Aldenard Trading Company sympathizes with your plight, we are not in a position to grant you the funding you seek. As you are aware, the East Aldenard Trading Company prides itself in its neutrality, be it in matters political or personal. And what of our relationship with the Eorzean Alliance? Ah, yes. What I meant to say was, here in Hingashi, the East Aldenard Trading Company prides itself in its neutrality, be it in matters political and, You must understand our position. Simply supplying coin to any one group would make it appear that we somehow favor that group over another. Seeing as we conduct business openly and fairly with everyone, doing such would be sending the wrong message and ultimately harm profits. Yes. And by selling to both sides, you maximize profits while good men and women perish. How convenient. We are a business, milady. We do what we must to survive. That does not mean, however, that we are blind to the needs of our customers or our allies, which is why we support the Eorzean Alliance and their noble efforts to safeguard their realm's freedom through a mutually beneficial arrangement. If it were my choice, I would provide your little resistance with all the funding it needs. But as my good friend Tarl knows all too well, it is not my choice. Well, now that Hancock's thoroughly lowered your spirits, you won't be as crestfallen when I inform you the Eorzean Alliance will also be unable to provide any assistance.
And let me guess, you did everything in your power to try and convince the leaders of each city-state, only to watch as they politely declined our proposal, claiming an unfortunate lack of intelligence or resources.
Wait, how did you... Lord Hien sends his greetings to you and yours, and under normal circumstances would welcome allies still suffering under the imperial yoke. However, word has it that the latest attempt at reclaiming your kingdom ended in failure, resulting in the loss of countless lives, including many of the Resistance's leaders.
You are not mistaken. Our army is not what it once was. Those remaining have been forced to take refuge deep beneath the streets of Rabanasta.
The 4th Legion has already defeated you once. Lacking unity and leadership, the current resistance will not survive another tilt against the Empire's disciplined ranks. If Doma is to join hands with Dalmasca as an ally, you must first prove to us that you will stand as one.
Doma as a full-fledged ally would serve far better to strengthening our cause than a few temporary soldiers.
Yet, even if we are able to wrest Dalmasca from the Empire's grasp, without unity among your people, the resulting chaos could prove even more perilous to the kingdom.
You understand much of our situation. And based on that understanding, you would refuse your aid to Lente's tears, correct?
Do not mistake me. Lord Hien's refusal is but a message to help you plan your next step.
You have a wise master. He understands that without proper planning, driving one enemy from your midst simply creates room for the next. Lady Fran will no doubt be pleased to hear that your response was exactly what she expected.
You knew this whole time that your demands would be rejected, yet you still let this farce play out.
You have my apologies, but this was all necessary to prove an important point to our leader. Lady Fran needed to show the princess just exactly what she was getting herself into. And your honesty today will serve us better than any hollow promise. Thank you.
Wait! What about the Gomori jungle? Can you believe this? We're right back to where we started. Principal Genomus will not be pleased.
I think I do need to flip this over. Because... Alright, let's head back to the Prima Vista while I readjust everything. Kugane Dori Markets. There we go. That should do it. In fact, that should be perfect. Yep. Alright. Now that we've got that in place, sorry. How does that sound now? Perfect. By the way, do you have your fan on or something?
No.
Weird, because I'm picking up some massive feedback from you. It's like a humming noise.
I mean, I have the Bluetooth on, but
Go
it
figure.
shouldn't be much.
Alright. If it is as you say, it is most unfortunate. But I suppose we did everything in our power. And that is all one could ask. I still do not understand.
Why would Lady Friend send Tarl on this wild Paisa chase if she knew from the start it would be for naught? Bwagi mentioned something about Fran proving a point to their leader, whomever that may be.
People in positions of power can prove both naive and stubborn creatures. Simply telling a leader she is wrong may not convince her of the fact. Seeing one's own plan fail, however, is oft the best medicine.
Naive and stubborn? Then the resistance is doomed! If a person as imposing as Fran is taking orders from her, then chances are this leader is even worse, Kubo.
I would not be so certain, Mont Blanc. My guess is that the individual in question is still quite young and inexperienced, and that Lady Fran is trying to teach her to be an effective leader through example. By allowing her to make her own mistakes, Fran is granting her the ability to learn and grow from them, an experience that will ultimately benefit her when the time comes to make some truly difficult decisions. Now, I seem to recall reading that one of the many faces of the resistance before the recent quelling was a young girl of royal blood. Do you suppose...
You may cease with your baseless presumptions, defector.
The door was open.
And you would be? I would be here on orders from the leader of Lente's Tears. Against my better judgment, mind you.
Greetings. Lady Fran, I presume. I am Genomus Sen Lexentail, principal of the Majestic Theater Company. You and your colleagues are most welcome on the Prima Vista. What is it your leader would have of us?
While you failed in meeting even a single of our demands, she recognizes that you were sincere in your attempts to see them fulfilled. And for that effort, you are to be compensated.
That is most generous.
The ruins which you seek are hidden behind a waterfall here, a point roughly equidistant from the river's source and its delta. You have our thanks, Lady Fran. We will not forget this kindness. Father, I shall plot a course immediately. Ramza, what is going on here? Alma, you should be in bed. I've slept enough, brother. Tell me, who are our guests?
It appears you once again prepare to leap into danger's maw. Keep your wits about you, Tarl. Lady Fran is strong, but then again, so is Bagamnon. If you'll excuse me.
One stare from Fran and that was enough.
Are you mad? A trip to the surface in your condition? Listen to me, brother. The High Seraph beckons. She speaks to me through the Otius.
The what?
There is no need to worry. Mikoto and I have already devised a plan. I can help clear our family name.
The Sharlayan have no say in this. I am your father, and I insist you remain here on the airship. What would your mother say if I allowed aught to befall you?
Mother? This is what this is all about, isn't it? What it has always been about. You care not about Evilise or the Auron name? No. You only seek to use the Aurosite to bring Mother back! But you haven't been able to do that. You still do not understand how exactly it is that the shards translate one's desires into reality. That is where I can help. I can ask the High Seraph. It is she who created the Aurosite. Ultima has bid me come to her place of imprisonment. If we free her, she will reveal unto us the secrets of her creations.
Do you hear what you are saying, Alma? Even if there was the slightest chance of bringing Mother back, we cannot risk your life in doing so. Your brother is right. We've sacrificed too much already. I cannot bear the thought of losing you. Either of you.
It's too late. I'm so lonely, Father. Why must you love Ramza more than you do me?
Do not be cozened by your daughter's words, for they are not her own. Well, that was freaky.
Help me, Raps.
Alma! Well, that shit escalated quickly. No. No!
Gods forfend.
I told you. No one can control the power within those shards. No one!
Tarl, here, take this. It might be the only thing that can save Alma, but we must hurry to the monastery.
Come! We leave for the Gamoi jungle! Now! Alright, we're gonna take one more quick break, and then we will be back with the last of Tarl's contribution to this whole ordeal. With that being said, that's it for this episode of Cruise Nix Purgatory. A thank you to Arya Stormborn for joining us.
You're welcome, babe.
And thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the show. As always, if you're watching this on Twitch or live at PlayStation and you like this show, click the follow button below and be sure to turn on notifications and subscribe to me. If you're watching this on YouTube and you like this video, click the like button below and leave a comment. Subscribe to my channel by clicking here. Click here to watch more by me. Click here to watch the next episode. And click here to watch the previous one. Until next time, Cruise the Gex. Signing out.